Hello and welcome, Dodger fans, to the very first episode of the Let's Talk Blue podcast. My name is Evans Barnes. I'll be your host. Today is Wednesday, January 28th. Let's talk blue. Let's go ahead and get into it. We got a great first episode for you guys. I'm really excited about it, maybe a little nervous. To kick things off, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Evans Barnes. I am a lifelong Dodger fan, but I'm not a journalist. I don't have a journalism degree. I'm not someone who played professional baseball. I'm just a fan like you guys, and I want to talk about, my opinions on the Dodgers, what's going on with the Dodgers. I want to hear what you guys think and sort of build a great community of Dodgers fans who love the game and want to talk ball. And that's really all there is to it. That's all the show is going to be about. I'm really excited to see where it goes. I think once the season kicks off, I'll probably do a couple episodes a week, review each series, etc. For right now, we're going to do a couple one-off episodes. I'm going to talk some offseason today. I'm going to be going to spring training in March. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And then once the season kicks off, we'll sort of get on a regular schedule. But I'm very excited about this new podcast, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. As far as housekeeping goes, that's about it. So I think maybe we should just jump right into it. Talk a little off season. The Dodgers have made some big moves. It started off with Edwin Diaz at winter meetings. The bullpen was definitely scary last year. And, with Kershaw leaving, retiring, and they don't really think that they want Roki to be a starting pitcher. They don't think that he's going to settle into a permanent role in the bullpen. So they're going to need some help back there. I know there's some hope that Tanner Scott is going to sort of come back to where he was the previous 2 years. He had a bad year last year. There's some injuries that could have caused that, or maybe just some regression. But they think maybe he's going to come back to the mean, have a better year this year. But even if that happens, they're still going to need some help. We got one more year of Blake Trinan. He regressed. Don't know if he's going to come back to the mean or not. Alex Vezia is going to be back. But it's tight in the bullpen, and when you bring in a guy like Edwin Diaz, it sort of answers a lot of those questions as far as who the ninth inning guy is going to be, who you can rely on to get big outs in October. Edwin Diaz, if you look back the past 3, 4, 5 years, he's probably been the best reliever in baseball. I think there's a very good argument for that. And the Dodgers went and got their guy. I think AAV-wise, he's the highest paid reliever ever now. But he earned it. I mean, he's pitched very, very well. He pitched very well in Seattle and then in New York. And I think Mets fans were pretty bummed not to get him to come back. So there's a lot to be excited about in the Edwin Diaz signing. I know there's going to be some caution after the money that the Dodgers shelled out last offseason for Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates. Those signings did not work out. But Edwin Diaz has a little more of a track record and a consistency about him than those guys did, in my opinion. I was fairly certain that they were going to go after him because you can't have enough pitching, especially in the back end. You need guys, and Edwin Diaz is a guy. So I think they wanted to answer some questions in the bullpen, and they got that done. After that, the other big signing that we're going to talk about that everybody's talking about right now, saying that the Dodgers are ruining baseball, that's going to be Kyle Tucker. $60 million AAV. I believe it was a 4-year 240. Yeah, 4-year 240. And that's that's big money. I know there's a little bit of a deferral, like present day value. It's going to be closer to 57, 55, something like that. I think what a lot of people are missing here in this talk, and they're saying, the Dodgers blew every offer out of the water and they're ruining baseball with their money. I don't think that that's actually true. I think that the Mets may have actually made a better offer, or at least a very comparable one. I think that they were at 4,220, which would be 55 a year, and they weren't going to defer any money, and they weren't going to backload their contract. So I think that if Kyle Tucker had taken the Mets deal, he may have actually ended up with more money in his pocket in the short term. But he wanted to play for Los Angeles. I think people glossed over that in the press conference, and people gloss over that a lot when they talk about the Dodgers signings. Shohei Ohtani took a present day value contract of 10 years, $450, something in that range. I mean, that's a steal, man. Like, the Dodgers are getting a lot of these guys on very team-friendly deals. They're some of the best players in baseball, so their contract, the money is going to be big, but I don't think that it's really a situation where they're overpaying for a lot of these guys. Guys want to play for the Dodgers. That's, when you win, when you have the kind of success that the Dodgers have had, guys want to come play in LA. And nobody's really talking about that. I don't think that they want to have that conversation because it's going to destroy some of their narratives. But yeah, Kyle said it in the press conference, I wanted to play here, and we were going to do whatever we had to do to make that work, which I think makes a lot of sense. So, yeah, Kyle Tucker, he's going to fit in really nicely. I think you can play him in the 2-hole. You can move Mookie down to the 4. You could hit him in the 3-hole. If you wanted to sort of go left, right, you could hit him in the 3-hole, hit Will Smith in the 2-hole, and move Freddie down to 4. But I think, if I had to guess, opening day is going to look a lot like Shohei, Tucker, Freddie, Mookie, Max, or Will Smith. See, I think that they're going to evaluate how Mookie's hitting. I think that for most of last year, Mookie may have benefited quite a bit from moving down in the lineup. They could put Tucker in the 2-hole, Will Smith in the 4-hole, and then hit Mookie in the 6-hole. It's going to be interesting. I think you kind of want a left-handed bat in the 5-hole, but not necessarily. They could go Will Smith, Mookie, Will Smith, then Max, then Teo, and then have Tommy Edman and Andy Pages rounded out. Yeah, I honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I think they're going to move Mookie down. I think Will Smith just hit way too well last year, and in the playoffs, I would be surprised if they didn't move Mookie down, put Kyle Tucker in that 2-hole and move Mookie down into the 5-6 area. He played really great shortstop last year. The hitting kind of took a backseat. Now, he hit better in the second half. There was the weight loss issue. So it sort of depends. They're going to watch these guys hit in spring training and sort of feel it out. If Mookie is back to his old self, I don't think you can justify hitting him that far down. The left-right stuff may have to take a back seat. It may have to look like, two righties in the top three, if that's the case, with Tucker hitting 2 or 3, Mookie hitting 2 or 3, and then Freddie in the 4-hole, which is, I think, a viable option. If Mookie is that guy like he's been in the past, I think that's a viable option, and you will let Mookie face a righty or a lefty or anything in between. Same with the rest of those guys. Now, maybe you want that split to be a little more down towards the middle bottom area, sort of like Teo Max or Will Max Teo Max Will. Yeah, the lineup is going to get interesting. I mean, Dave's going to have some pretty hard decisions because there's only so many spots, right? Somebody's going to, Teo, Will, Mookie, Max have all spent some time hitting in the 4 or 5 spot throughout the past few years, and they're going to end up hitting 7, 6. But I think those guys will handle that well. I think that the Dodgers have, from a roster construction standpoint, have done a very good job of paying the team-oriented guys, the guys that are gonna do what it takes to win. So I don't foresee any sort of like ruffled feathers as far as how the lineup goes, but it's gonna be difficult decisions just because you've got 4 or 5 guys who can carry an offense on your team, and they can't all hit at the top of the order. So it's going to be interesting. I think maybe I should try to come up with a final answer, a final lineup that I think looks good. I think I'm just going to base it off of what we saw in over last year in its entirety and probably move Mookie down. I think Shohei, Tucker, Freddie, Will Smith, Max, Mookie, Teo, Edman, Pages is what I'm gonna lock that in. But it could look a lot different here in a month. Obviously, spring training is coming up. Guys are gonna be fighting for roster spots. We're going to see, guys are going to be fighting to get into the rotation. It's going to be interesting. And we'll do an episode focused around a lot of that here shortly. But for today, I think that's going to be it. We talked about Diaz and Tucker. Big signings. Improved the areas of the team that really needed the most improving as far as the bullpen and the outfield go. Coming into the offseason, that was sort of what I was thinking. We need a bullpen arm. We need an outfielder. We got the best one available in both instances. I also thought that they might try and get another starting pitcher to sort of replace the innings that they got out of guys like Kershaw and May and Gonsolin last year. I think they may think that Roki is going to do some of that. But I would not be surprised if you see the Dodgers sign a starting pitcher, trade for a starting pitcher here in the next few weeks before spring training, because I think that's really the last sort of thing that we need is somebody who's going to eat some innings in the middle of the year. Framber Valdez is available. I don't think they're going to go that route. They could. I don't think they're going to go that route. There's some smoke. There has been smoke all offseason around the Tarek Skubal trade. I don't think that's going to get done in the offseason. If there are some injuries, if the Dodgers feel like they're sort of a pitcher away from where they want to be at the trade deadline, and the Tigers are sort of in the middle of the pack, not really contending, then I think we could definitely see sort of a Tarek Skubal rental agreement. But as far as the sort of trade, a lot of our top prospects get Skubal and extend him, I don't think that that's going to happen this offseason. I would love to see it, honestly. I don't. There's, as far as prospects go, do I want to see DePaula get traded away before he ever puts the blue on? No, I think he could be a really great player. But everybody else, I would be okay with trading to get somebody like Tarek Skubal. He's awesome. So that's maybe Zaire Hope. There's a lot of scenarios. But my personal opinion, we're not going to see Tarek Skubal get dealt this offseason. If he's going to get dealt, it's going to be at the trade deadline. And if the Tigers are shopping Skubal at the trade deadline and the Dodgers are looking for pitching, I would be shocked if they didn't do what it takes to get that deal done. So I'm not saying never on Skubal, but not right now. Yeah. Off-season talk. It's great, but I want baseball. I'm counting down the days for before the pitchers and catchers report, and have some actual baseball to talk about. I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited to be covering the Dodgers this year. It's something that has been a dream of mine, and in this day and age, anybody can do it if they want to. So that's what I'm doing, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. We're gonna be putting out some short form content, I think, in between episodes. Maybe do a little trivia stuff, maybe some draft stuff. We'll see. Keep your eyes peeled and go blue.